ideas that we just generated that I think a lot of you have already shared: a welcome email, a get ready to learn email. This one I can show you, but it's just the path of how you get to the course. So what we see as instructors is not always the same thing that students see. And so this is a video that you'll now have, because you'll have these slides that you can share with students on how to get to the course. You can introduce yourself, walk through the syllabus, walk through your D2L shell, tell people where to go and what to see. A weekly check-in, explaining a tough concept. These are things that you talked about. Lab technique came up, answering a question from one to many, and reviewing missed material. So you all generated a lot of these, which is awesome, but there's so many uses for video. And so here's just two quick ones. The first one is a screencast without me, I believe.
Hello, and welcome to Oakton Community College. In this video, I'm going to show you how to get from the Oakton homepage into the D2L course shells for each course for which you're registered. First, start at the Oakton homepage. Then, open My Oakton. Then navigate to My Courses. And then make sure you're in the correct term. Once there, you should see all of the courses for which you're registered. Click on the caret next to the course you want to open, and then click the home icon. That's it, you're in. Once you're at the course homepage, you'll likely see some announcements and a welcome from your instructor, and likely some messages about where to find the syllabus and where to find the course information. You may see course content, discussions, other assignments to turn in, and your gradebook. Each course will be set up a little bit differently, but now you know how to find them. Good luck and have a great semester.
Okay, so that I wanted to also be able to show you a number of different types of videos. So that one is a screencast where I'm taking students through a process but they're not seeing me. You can also do a screencast where they're seeing your screen and seeing your face. Typically, Lene and I both advocate for showing your face, but that one I wanted to share with all faculty who could then share it with their students. So I purposely was anonymous. This is one that you'll likely find a lot of use for as an instructor, is just a weekly check-in.
Mary, I just wanted to, somebody mentioned about how they like that error message. That was made with Screencast-O-Matic, is that right?
Yes, yes. So what I did was I actually previewed that with a student, and she reminded me that students won't be able to open it until the course is ready to open. So all I did in Screencast-O-Matic was I paused it. They have some tools where you can create those messages, or you'll see you can create arrows and all kinds of stuff. So I was able to insert that message rather than create a whole other video, which I try not to do. Try to go with one take.
Hi everyone, it's time to get started with Unit 1. Here's the thing I really want you to keep in mind. Get started, don't wait. So there are several things I need you to do this week to be ready. So I want you to get that Connect MH campus registered right away. Don't wait. Even if you are waiting for money, you can get 2 weeks free access. So log on to MH Connect, play around with it, get that going. Also, you can get started with your introduction. Again, don't wait, just start off. Let's start to get to know each other. And then you can dive right into chapter 1. We're going to learn about social psych and how we do research. And we're also going to learn about the hindsight bias. So pay attention to that. As you go through the course, try to check yourself and see if you might be falling victim to hindsight bias. So we'll learn more about that this week. I can't wait to get started. Remember, I'm just an email away, so don't be a stranger. Take care. Good luck. See you soon.
So again, you'll see that I'm building my connection with students. Hopefully they feel like a real person is there, and they also know what to do next. Those early weeks in the semester are so tough on students, where they just are navigating my system in my course, and Linnea's system in her course, and everyone else's system that they're taking. So the more you can guide students through, the better. Okay, so I think right now, Linnea, we're gonna switch it over. So are you ready to take over the share?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I'm going to show you just some general tips and advice. Now, this is, any video is better than no video. All right. But I know that sometimes you start getting lost in the details when you're first starting to make videos. And so I'm going to try to give you some tips and advice about at least when you're starting to make videos, how not to get bogged down in those details. I've been making videos since about 2005. And I have my own YouTube channel. And yesterday I had a presentation about how to work with YouTube and things like that. And this is just to show you some of the things that I've sort of learned as I've gone along. First of all, short is better. Students will definitely watch a short video and they will often just not watch a longer video. And it's just because, especially now, they're watching everything on their phones and there's just a lot of other things that will distract them. So if you already have stuff that you've recorded that's an hour long, you can get instructional service media services to break that up for you, I've been told. If you haven't recorded stuff already, then just record it in 15-minute chunks if you don't know how to edit it into smaller chunks. But definitely something shorter than 15 minutes. Shorter than 10 minutes is usually the best way to go. And what you just do is you just record it in part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. For some reason, that seems to work best because people sort of say, oh, I have 15 minutes now. I have a chance to look at some content. All right, so keep it short if possible, I think is the best way to go. Also, as Mary already said, you want to keep that sustainable. You want to not mention things like, hey, what about that siege on the Capitol the other day? You don't want, you want to try to have something that you can use every single semester. If you want to add topical things, that's great too, but just always sort of try to keep aware of the fact that you don't want to have to redo these videos every semester, if possible. Now, there's also the issue of being sort of camera ready. You don't need to look like a YouTube star or a movie star to make a video. You just need to look like a normal yourself, okay? Because what students are looking for is they're just looking for sort of human contact. But you do kind of want to be semi-well, like groomed and have, don't have spinach in your teeth, and you want to be, attired, pants are required, that kind of a thing. You don't need to wear special cosmetics or have anything special. It's not going to make a huge difference. If you're filming on a webcam, it definitely won't make a big difference because the resolution just isn't high def. That doesn't make a big difference. A really important thing is to make sure you check your background because sometimes you'll do a whole video and then realize there was something weird in the background that you don't want to have showing, like your partner standing in their underpants or something like that. So make sure that you're always sort of aware of what's going on behind you. And then I can't stress enough that if you're making a video, especially when you're starting out, if you've not made videos before, start the video and do it for 15 seconds and then check to see what it looks like, because sometimes it'll turn out you weren't in the frame or like only half your head was or something like that, depending on what you're filming with. If you're filming with your computer, you'll obviously see yourself in the picture. But if you're using just your phone or something, you might not see yourself. So always take a test photo. So when I talk about being camera ready, I want to just give you like an example here of what would be considered professional or not professional, right? Like you don't have to go with what corporate America considers to be, professional. You don't have to wear a suit and all that stuff. When I first started at Oakton, I would wear a suit and I called my students by their last name, and that just like did not fly at all. And then pretty soon all my videos I was making with printed t-shirts. It was fine. But you kind of want to be like semi-groomed. And again, you want to check your background to make sure there's not like underwear hanging around. And you don't want your underwear showing and things like that. So just, you don't have, I guess the point I'm not trying to be too silly here, but just, you don't have to be like movie star to make a video for your students. You just have to be a smiling face. In terms of other general tips, one thing is to look at the camera, which is tough. Especially because if, like right now, I'm making a Herculean effort to look at the camera, which is not always easy, because in normal life, you don't look at a tiny dot at the top of a big rectangle. That's not how you normally, work. Normally, when we're humans, we look at other people's eyeballs. We don't look in a weird spot like that. But whenever possible, you want to look at your webcam if you're filming on your desktop. If you're looking at a smartphone, you want to look at the smartphone camera, not at the screen picture of yourself. If you have a individual webcam, it's easy to figure out where the camera is. If you're looking at a desktop or a laptop, the manufacturers make a really big effort to hide where the camera is. And if you're not aware, the camera is right at the top of the screen, usually where this arrow is pointing. And sometimes that can be hard to see, especially if you have a black laptop. All right, so how to make sure that you're always looking at the web camera as much as possible. Look at the web camera, that's one thing, but it's hard to remember to do that because it just takes a little bit of practice. Or you can look at yourself, and I'll show you what I mean by that in a second. Or you can put your script, if you're reading off of a script, you can put that near the camera. So when I say look at yourself, like right now we're on a Zoom meeting. So if you have the gallery open, you can see probably other people, like you might be able to see me talking. You might see some other people moving around, or you might just see their names, whatever. But if you see your own face, there's a good chance that your eyes are occasionally drifting towards your own face. Like right now I'm looking at my own face again. And that's not because you are a self-centered narcissistic megalomaniac. It's because you're just a human being, and it's normal for you to occasionally look at your own face if you see it on the screen. So if that's the case, and I do this during Zoom meetings too, is I'll always take wherever my picture is, I'll move that little image to right underneath the camera so that it always looks like I'm looking right at the camera, so that it looks like I'm looking at the other participants and not just staring at my own face, which is a little bit odd. So here's two pictures I took of me. I just took this with my smartphone. And on the left here, I'm looking at my own face in the smartphone, and in the one on the right, I'm looking at the camera. And I don't think this is not like, I mean, you guys all can tell that. But if you actually, I've got fairly light colored eyes, and I don't think the pupils are that noticeable. But I'm used to be a retina surgeon. I used to be an ophthalmologist. And we actually, I don't know if you know this, but if you have a lazy eye, or if you know somebody with a lazy eye, an eye that's turned out or turned in, insurance will actually pay for that eye to be turned straight again, even though that's cosmetic surgery, because it's such a social disadvantage if people don't know which eye to look at, because they so expect you to be looking back at them with both eyes. So when somebody is looking at you in a video and you're not looking back at them through the camera, it's disconcerting. You know, Mr. Rogers, if you remember who that was, if you're old enough, Fred Rogers became famous with kids on TV because he looked right at the camera, and that engaged the little kids to make them feel that he like cared about them. So when you're trying to engage students, you want to be looking at them through the camera. And even if you're not looking, even if you're looking only a little bit off camera, the human brain knows that you're not looking at them. So you want to, obviously you're going to sometimes look away, but if you can remember to occasionally look at the camera, it makes a big difference in terms of engagement and sort of presence with students. So here's an example where I was making a Zoom, I was using Zoom to record over some PowerPoint slides about hypoglycemia, because I teach pharmacology. And this was about diabetes. So here's, before I started recording, I was making a very grumpy face. And there's my monitor image. And so what I did was I slid it up towards the top of the screen so that when I was doing my slide, if my eyes drifted towards my own face, which they're doing right now, I would still be sort of looking towards the camera. All right, so that when I was talking, it would look like I'm looking at the camera. And this is sort of like what that would look like on my laptop if I were doing, then recording. And the thing about if you do a recording using Zoom is that it doesn't matter where you put your monitor while you're recording, because the end recording always has your picture off to the side. So that's just one little trick to make it look like you're looking at the camera, even if you aren't, is to put your own face near the camera. Another thing you can do is you can, if you're reading off of if you tend to read off of a script, is you can put your script as close to the camera as possible. So if you're reading off a laptop and you're recording with your webcam, you can put your script up near the top half of the screen so that you're looking towards the camera as much as possible. And there's even a free teleprompter app type thing you can use that's online called qprompter.com. Where you can just type in whatever you want, and then you just hit start prompter, and then you'll get a scroll, and you can make the letters as big or as small as you want, and you can make the speed go as fast or as slow as you want, and it'll just scroll, and you just do it so that you're always reading near the top of the screen, and it looks like you're looking at the camera when you're actually just reading your little script. And that's the way, you know, TV presenters do it and politicians do it. And if you really look carefully at their eyes, you can see their eyes kind of moving back and forth while they're reading. But as long as they're close enough to the actual camera lens, it's going to look like they're looking at the camera. Okay, another thing is to fill up the screen as much as possible. So it's always better to be close to the screen, especially because a lot of the students will be looking at you on their phone, which means that the screen they're looking at you on is like, you know, 2 by 3 inches big. So if you actually are trying to do this for student engagement reasons, you want to have your face be fairly big. I took one of the ION how to teach online courses, and one of the instructors was giving her video lectures from like this. She was like this, and I thought that was very strange, because it's the whole point is to be close and present. I just felt like she didn't even want to be there because she was so far away all the time. Another thing is to say, you know, don't be shy. And saying don't be shy to a human being is a bit like saying don't be a mammal. I mean, everybody's a little bit shy, but what you have to do is just get over it. Like just not to get over it. I think all of us have a step up in terms of getting over being shy, because we're all instructors and we're all used to standing in front of a group and talking to our students, which the majority of human beings would rather die than do public speaking, but we're all already, you know, past that first step. So don't be too shy about that kind of thing. Now, a couple other little tips, and these are little tips about in terms of trying to look good on camera. I don't think that, again, I think it's most important to sort of just be looking at the camera and just sort of being yourself. But in terms of looking good, if you look at people who do YouTubes, the YouTubes, as my mom says, who do YouTube videos, you'll see that most of them, or people who do selfies, you know, they always have the camera above them like this, and they're always like looking into the screen. It's because if you take a picture from above, it makes you look younger and happier. So this is 4 shots I took using a ring light, which is like the best type of lighting for your face, from about here at eye level, a little below, and then down below. And I mean, you can judge for yourself, but I think from the picture from below, I think I look judgmental and old. And from above, I think I just look sort of like I'm thinking about my laundry, and I look a lot younger. So always have your camera a little bit above. Right now, my camera is about here on me. And I don't look like I'm 20. I still look like my age, but I don't look judgmental and angry, which I think is an important thing. So always have your camera a little bit above you. I think it's just going to help. In terms of lighting, now that just generally speaking, it's better to have more light. That's a general thing. But you always want to have the most light on your face, because that's the part you're trying to light up. So when in doubt, have light on your face. Okay, it seems obvious, but it's not always obvious. All right, so most of the time, in terms of what kind of light you should use, diffused daylight, meaning shade or light coming through a gauze curtain, is going to be probably the most flattering and perfectly fine for normal cameras. All right, so just for a normal smartphone, for a normal camera, that's plenty good. You don't have to do more than that. I mean, you could be making a goofy face like I'm doing there, but that's going to be plenty illuminating enough for for anything. Okay. At nighttime, this is a very strange picture I took last night, but at nighttime, the brighter, the better. Okay. Because at night, the sun can light up the entire planet. Once the sun goes down, you need a lot more light. All right. This I'm showing you this. This is what's called a ring camera. That's the light that the YouTubers use, and what it does is it lights up your whole face, so it sort of lights up your wrinkles. That's why YouTubers use it, so it makes them look really young. But you don't have to get anything this fancy. It's not necessary. You just need to have something that's light. You just need a lot of light. All right. So generally speaking, you want to have more light in front of you than behind you. Generally speaking, the more light, the better. And generally speaking, you want to have everything be in focus. Because again, human beings want to see each other's eyes. So that needs to be in focus. A lot of this I know seems like obvious, but sometimes you don't think about it. All right. Now, a lot of rules, if you're somebody who's like trying to get into like doing videos and you want to start like making money with your teaching videos and like monetizing YouTube videos, and you're watching lots of things about how to light and stuff like that, that all goes out the window when you start filming with your web camera, because it does that auto adjustments. So that's why I showed you that business with the making things with a white background, because I've seen things like, oh, always film with you on a white background. Well, you on a white background is not the best way to take pictures, especially if you're putting lots of light on it, because your web camera will adjust for the amount of white that's in the picture. So if you have very dark skin tones and you're on a bright white background, the camera will make it so that the white is more dim and it'll make you look very, very dark. So you always want to have like your face lighter than the background if possible, but you want to have a lot of light on your face, but you want the background to be slightly darker than your face. So that's like how I have my situation right now. And I just want to show you a bunch of pictures with variable amounts of lighting, just to show you the difference. And all these pictures are fine, but for those of you that are sort of interested in like making things fancier, I'm just showing you that. Don't get too intimidated by that. This is the room that I took the following pictures in. It's my son's old room. He moved out. Then I had a bunch of pet rats in it. Now it's my craft room, and now it's my at-home working station. All right, so it's a north-facing room. It's pretty dark. All right, so here's on the left is a room with, this is just me with my, with only the window light from the north in the late afternoon, with the HD turned on for zoom, and no skin smoothing. All right, so that's the best focus that the camera was able to do. This is with the overhead light on. So now the back of me is brighter compared to my face. All right, this is now with a desk light on my face from the side and the front. The details aren't that important. This is now me with more lights on. And on the right, there's every light I could have on the room is turned on, including the light that was on for my plants. So I had every light I could find. I turned on in order to take a picture with the Zoom, with the camera in the Zoom program. The point of all this is to show you the difference between the first picture and the last picture. And that is that the Zoom camera, the best it could do in the dim light was to have this sort of fuzzy picture of me. And, you know, I mean, I look younger, I don't have any wrinkles, that's good. But in the picture where I'm better lit, I think that that's a better picture for in terms of an engagement video, because I'm in better focus. And again, I think human beings just like to see each other in focus. So more light is going to always be better in my mind. But again, even so, this, I think, and the background is a white background, but it's still not as bright as my face, which is the important part. All right. Anyway, the point of all of that was just to, in summary, you want to have your face filling most of the picture. You want the camera to be a little bit above where your eyes are. You want to be looking at the camera. You want to have as much light as possible. You want more light on your face than in the background, and you want it to be in focus. And don't forget to take a test photo when you start making videos, because Otherwise, you'll take videos and then you'll have to do it over again and then you'll get frustrated. All right, I'm going to turn the floor back over to Mary now, and she's going to show you some examples of things.
All right. So now that you are all becoming experts on video making, I thought it would be just kind of fun to give you a chance to take a look at some videos and think about what could be better. So these are videos that I've made. I promise you I have thick skin and I know that they are not perfect. So let's just take a look at this first one. This is the preview video that I sent to you if you registered early.
Thanks for registering for the And Action video session tomorrow that Linnea Boyev and I are hosting. A couple things I'd like to let you know before you come to the session. Number one, it's going to work best if you're on a computer versus a phone. So to the extent possible, please join us over the computer. Second, attached to this email is a link to video note resources. So if you're a printed out person, like I am, I suggest you.
Okay, so you get the idea. So maybe in the chat, just offer what you think could be better about this video. And again, I've got thick skin. I've got teenagers. You're not going to hurt me. Linnea knows. Oh.
Okay. In the chat, they're saying more light, raise the camera a little bit.
A+. Yeah.
One person says they can see your bed and pillows, which I think is fine, but
yeah. So I have like a new workspace, and yes, it is my bedroom. So it would be ideally to have a tighter shot. To me, the one that really stands out for me, and that one is the lighting. But I also want to say, forgive yourself and give yourself grace. So the backstory is I had my kindergartner was remote learning, or is remote learning. And I had about 45 minutes while she was at physical therapy. And so I quick made this video because I knew I had a chance to have the door stay closed and nobody would pop in. And I didn't have time to get my lighting set up, but I said, you know what, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to make the video. And it was later at night. And, but that's what it was. So I got home from dropping her off, quick made the video before I had to pick her up, and I still used it. So that's one of my messages there, is just because it's perfect, don't worry, and still use it. Okay, this I think I may have shown you already, but now that you're experts, you might have a new perspective on things.
Everyone, it's Dr. J. I just wanted to take a few minutes, like I would in a face-to-face class, and point out a couple things on the syllabus, hopefully to make your life easier this semester. So first, I just wanted to talk about office hours. I know it's a little strange this summer that we don't have face-to-face office hours, but I'm still here for you, and I want to connect with you about the class. So my regular student or office hours are going to be Monday.
All right, so what is popping up in chat on?
So one person said the dates on the syllabus are not in agreement. Somebody said that you probably could have raised your camera a little bit to look into the camera.
Yep.
Julia mentioned, somebody mentioned about, now I've lost it, but about adding music. And I would say that adding music, be a little bit careful about sometimes because of copyright issues. However, there's lots of places where you can find copyright-free music, and I will search about really quickly in a moment to find some of those places you can get. Just like Pixabay, you can find copyright free to use images. There's places to find free to use music as well. The thing about using music, and I use a lot of music in my videos, is you have to be very careful not to have it be too loud that it obscures your voice. So that's the only thing about using music, is that you just got to be very cautious that your music does not obscure your voice when you're talking. And that it can be, sometimes you hear your own voice so often that you don't realize that your music is overpowering what you're saying.
Okay, so I'm having like a little technical glitch right this moment, but Let's see if we can work it through. We wanted to talk about audio next, Linnea. So if you want to talk a little bit about audio, and I am going to try to get.
I sure can. One thing is Cheryl said, move around less. Moving around is hard sometimes, especially as instructors. Like when I was in class, I used to walk. I used to never stand in one place. And sometimes I get very excited in my videos and I'm like, ah, so it's hard to not move, but it's something to practice. Also, I like Sheila Zabin said, instead of office hours, use student hours, more inviting. I love that. That is unrelated to this stuff, but that's, also, excellent point. Use a shoebox under your laptop to raise your camera. Right now, I've got two very large, I've got Principles of Internal Medicine and a giant infectious disease book raising my laptop on top of my table, which is a raisable table. So absolutely, putting stuff underneath your computer to raise it up is often. When I'm recording, I'm definitely not at typing height. I would have to have my hands up like this. In terms of audio, now there's been a number of studies and polls and things like this showing that if you're going to invest money in your video equipment, the first place to invest money is in a microphone, not in lighting. The good news is that like the mic that I'm talking in right now, which is my beloved Rode mic, cost me about $150. And that was several years ago. But now everybody's podcasting, everybody is teaching from home. And now you can get a really nice mic for about $60. You can get a perfectly professional sounding mic for about $25, $30. And even a microphone like the one on your, headphones that you use in your on your smartphone is going to be a step up from just talking into the air on your MacBook. So if you're going to invest anything into your video production, invest in a microphone. Now, there's something like what we're talking into in Zoom. Right now, I'm talking into a microphone. But if you're just talking to Zoom, Zoom will silence you in between your voice. So if you stop talking, it suddenly will go silent. But then when you start talking again, you'll hear background and the sound of fans and the sound of people in the background and things like that. So where you're really trying to clean it up is while you're talking, it's going to make things better. So I think, Mary, do you have the video? So yes. We have a little short video that all right. Hello, this is me talking into a Zoom recording, which I don't usually use to record video. I usually record off of my iPhone, but I do use this microphone, which is a Rode microphone, to do my audio. This microphone is one that is what's called a cardioid microphone, in that it is it only records like in a bubble right in front of it. So if I get close to it, I can speak fairly quietly and it will pick up the sound of my voice. I've intentionally turned on my fan in my house so that you can hear the sound of, like, it would be like the sound of the air conditioner or the heater in your house going. Usually if I'm recording though, I turn off my fan so that it is quiet as possible. And in fact, usually I only record in the very early morning or at night when people don't have their lawnmowers going and there isn't the sound of traffic and things like that. So I try to have it as quiet as possible when I am recording. So this is my most expensive microphone, the Rode microphone. I can turn it around so you can see what it looks like. And hopefully right now my voice sounds quieter because I'm not in front of it. But it's got a spit guard on the front so that when I make sounds, it doesn't pop. And then it's got a definite front to it, as marked here. This microphone also has a plug for the earbuds as well, so that while I'm recording, I can hear it live. Because when you plug a microphone into your computer, there's a lag between the time it's being recorded and the time that you hear the output. And so in order to not hear a lag between the sound of your voice and your monitored sound, which drives me crazy, you can get a microphone where there's no latency because you have your headphones plugged into the mic itself. So you'll see that in the descriptions of some microphones. You don't have to spend a lot of money to get that option. Most podcasting microphones have that. So this is my Rode microphone. Again, if you talk into the front of it, it's a much better microphone. And this is the one that I usually use when I'm recording for videos for my class. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the microphone that's with my notebook. All right. So now this is the microphone that comes with my MacBook. This would just be my computer, my laptop, the microphone that it works with. And so this is fine for Zoom meetings and seems to be good for that. It's fine. It's not as high quality as the Rode microphone, but it's pretty good, I think. Other times when I want to make sure that I'm not going to get any sound back from my, I don't want to hear. Now I'm switching to my AirPods. So these are the earphones to the microphone, to the computer itself. So now I'm actually talking into the AirPods. So this I find is a more tinny sound. But sometimes if I need to be moving around, I get a better result because the sound of the microphone doesn't change when you're moving. It doesn't depend on how close you are to the computer because the sound is going to be the same whether or not you have your headphones on. So I think headphones are a good alternative if the mic is there, so a headset of some sort. That I think is a lot better. Again, it's like the cardioid mic because the mic is specifically set so that it's only going to be trying to pick up sound near your mouth, so you won't be hearing the people in the room next to you. I find when I'm on Zoom meetings and people are just talking into the mic on their computer, those mics are set up to hear all the sound in the room. So people will think that you're just listening to them talking, but you can clearly hear the people in the next room very loudly. It's quite obvious. So the cardioid mic is going to be the most localized sound, but these are going to be a little more localized than just having it on your mic on the thing. And now the last thing I want to do is try a lower end mic, which has latency monitoring, which is this one, which I just got from Amazon. All right, let me try this. We'll do this live demonstration. So we're gonna put, I guess this side goes here. And it should be that if I get close to it, it sounds better. I don't know if it does because I have to listen to it. Is about, I think I got it on sale for $40 off of Amazon. I can put the link to that.
So by the time I got around to buying it and I'm talking to you on it now, I think it was up to maybe 50, but I was swayed by the rest of Linnea's video to buy a microphone, and I bought the one that I'm speaking to you on now, and it literally is out of the box, plug it in. So this is the sound. It's sitting in front of my laptop right now, so kind of out of view and out of my way. But you can hear this is the direction if I'm talking to it in the front, and then this is the direction if I'm talking to it in the back. But hopefully you're finding it to be pretty easy to hear, even if I'm not talking that loudly. And then we wanted to contrast that with if I were to just unplug my mic right now. So here I am talking on my purchased from Amazon mic, and I'm going to now talk to you. Just my laptop. Now I'm on the laptop only. So I don't know, Linnea, if it's coming through that you can hear a sound difference or not.
Yes, there's definitely a sound difference.
All right. One thing I did learn though is if you're sharing videos and you want to hear the sound, you have to have either headphones or unplug your mic. So I had to unplug it because I have had headphones on too long and I have too big of a head. So I don't have the ones that go in your ear. All right. So now we want to move on a little bit because there was a question that came up about which tool. And so we did want to say that we both took our own journeys in making videos. And so I started because I just thought I really need to connect with students and I need to find a better way. And I want to make videos and I want to make captions. So those were kind of my must-haves as I was starting to learn and use videos. There are tons of tools out there. We're gonna and they all have pros and cons, right? So this is a very incomplete list. There's likely folks in the room that use Camtasia, that use Kaltura, that use Screencastify. Those are not even on this list, but I'm sure they're very good. We just are not experts on every last available option. But one option that you have is that you can record your Zoom session, right? So that's a great idea because you already have it. You don't need to purchase anything. You're familiar with Zoom. So you can just record your Zoom session and then save it and do it later. There is a way to do captions. Oakton supports Zoom. Those are all great options that will argue for using Zoom. It does not give you, like some of the other tools, you don't end your Zoom session and then instantly have a link that you then either embed or get an embed code that you can insert, or have a link that you can share over email or share with your students or put into a document. So there's a little more navigation to get that usable file, but it's definitely not a huge deal. It's not insurmountable. So a lot of folks have had good success using Zoom, and then very much in a similar fashion, Google Meet. So it's supported by Oakton. You already have it. You've started to become familiar with it, and captions can be done. So those are all good options. Video Note is also one that Oakton supports, and it's very easy to use. And in fact, we're going to try it out in just a couple minutes. It's very easy to make the captions. You just literally push a button. It does have a 30-minute time limitation right now. It used to be 3 minutes, but honestly, do not produce a 30-minute video. Like, it's much, much, much better to make multiple short videos, so then have a 30-minute video. That's not good for anybody. The downside of Video Note is that you cannot do a screencast. So it's just a video of you. It's a webcam video, basically, is what it is. YouTube, Linnea, do you want to talk about YouTube, just because that has not been my jam, or iMovie either, if you want.
Well, I did a whole presentation on YouTube yesterday. I will put a link to my presentation in the chat. But it's basically very, very easy to upload any kind of video to YouTube, and it will automatically caption for you. So if you know how to make a video and find the file on your computer, you can upload to YouTube. So, and iMovie comes with a Mac, and it's made to be as user-friendly as humanly possible. And it comes free on a Mac. So if you're a Macintosh user, iMovie is the thing that is the sort of the starter entry-level editing program that you're going to want to use.
Thank you. And so lecture capture, I have not used in several years. It is the Oakton supported video making program. It does not, however, yet allow for captions. So that is why I did not return to it when we moved online and I wanted to make more videos. So lecture capture exists. I'm guessing there's some folks in this room that use lecture capture and are likely much better experts and more than I am, but it is Oakton supported. You have access to it. I believe you still need to contact IMS to get it, to get access. It may be in D2L that's you can turn on, but you may still also have to access IMS. Just trying to be transparent. I haven't tried to use it for a while, but I did confirm that there's still no captions. The tool that I started with, I'm going to jump to the right. I started with Loom. So that was the first tool that I used, and I liked it because it was so easy to use. It's free if you have an EDU account, which we all do. You are able to make screencasts. You're able to make screencasts with your picture, like I did in that syllabus video. And you're also able to make screencasts with you, and then just you. So all three options, and it's just a click of a button, super easy to use, and pretty nice support on their website. So that's where I started. It is not Oakton supported, so I don't want to misrepresent that. And it does not allow for captions. So I have emailed them several times, say add captions, but still no captions yet. So I switched to Screencast-O-Matic probably early summer. And I've been very happy with it. And I've recommended it to a number of faculty who have started to use it. Very easy to do captions, very easy to use overall. And there are some editing tools already. It is free, or it can be nearly free. So I did pay for the $19.95 a year option, but most folks I know, I think, still just stick with the free option. It is not Oakton supported, so I just want to represent that as well. But it does give you, like Loom, those options to make the screencast with your picture, or just the webcam. So those are some tools. I don't know if, I think what we'll do is stop sharing, because it's going to be time for you all to make a video very soon. And so what we want to do is have you think about a welcome video to your students. So I'm just, Linnea, in the interest of time, I wasn't going to show my welcome video, or do you think I should?
Yeah, sure. Just show a minute or two of it, and
Right.
then let's do it.
Okay, so start thinking about what you might want to show in a welcome video. Okay, so this is an example of one that I did.
Hello, you made it to the intro site homepage. Welcome. This is where you'll find all the information and all the resources you need to succeed in this course. Right now, you're in the announcements section. So each week, I'll post a new announcement where we highlight what's coming in the week ahead. But also, if there's any last-minute changes or things I want you to know about, I'll post them here in the announcements page too. So it's a good place to check every time you log into D2L. Right after you watch this video, I want you to go up and click that content tab. That's where you're going to find your syllabus. So please make sure you take a look at that and you're really familiar with the content there. It has all the deadlines for the entire course. Also, under the content tab, that's where you're going to find all of your assignments. So you'll see week 1 is already open. You can see all the assignments and links to all of the things that you're supposed to read and complete this week. Welcome. We're off to a good start, and I can't wait to continue this journey with you. Take care.
Okay, so just take a moment now and brainstorm. What are the kinds of things that you would want to put into a welcome message? So I am someone who does not like to use a script. I think for most of us when we teach, we do not teach from a script. We have some ideas about what we want to talk about. So when I made that video, I don't know if you can see this. It's going to be backwards, but I have my little Post-it note with the 3 things that I wanted to talk about. I wanted to be welcoming. I wanted to explain that they were in the announcements section, and I wanted to direct them to content. Those were the 3 things that I wanted to address in my video. So what I want you to do is, if you have that Post-it handy, think about what you would want to do. You can either put it in the chat if you want to share your ideas with other people, or if you're more private and you just want to put it on the Post-it, that's fine too. But ultimately, we want to get it to that Post-it note. Okay. While you're doing that, I'm going to just check out chat for a second.
Yeah, because there were some questions about Zoom and Screencast-O-Matic, which I haven't used as much as you have. Dan is saying, describe the writing process. And now I feel ashamed because my writing process for my announcements is I just start recording and then I just do it off the top of my head. And then I just keep redoing it until it seems right. And that's probably not, that's my poor education. You should take your course. I'm so sorry.
So Esperanza, I did address it in chat, but one of the things I love about Screencast-O-Matic and Loom for everybody is how easy they are to share. So that's As soon as you finish it, you get a little link and you're good to go. It's awesome.
Is
Okay.
it a link? Is it a link that they can embed, or is it just a link that you link to? Or I mean, is
So
it a,
you automatically get a hyperlink, like a URL address, but you can also get an embed code. It's like another couple clicks, but you can get the embed code.
so it's almost like it's like linking to YouTube or something?
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay. All right, so it looks like we've got some ideas that are coming. So let's go forward now. If you have it handy, now's a good time to get out your video note sheet because we're going to give you probably about 15 minutes to play around with it. But let me go back to screen share again.
Can you put up that link again to the video note sheet?
Oh yeah, thank you.
I think Nazar had a question about the captioning in Zoom and in Screencast-O-Matic, but I think it's automatic there, isn't it?
You do have to, like, when you're done with the video in Screencast-O-Matic, you edit and then just click the videos. So, and the language that you want to translate. I have found that it's pretty accurate for me, but again, I don't teach a scientific, I don't teach a lot of formulas and stuff like that. It always gets my last name wrong. It's Johannesen-Schmidt. But the corrections don't take a lot of time. It's pretty minimal. Okay, so there's the video note guide if you don't have it. Okay, so what we want to do is to give you a chance to make a similar video to the one that I just showed you. So keep it short. You're just welcoming the students to your D2L course. So imagine they've done all the navigation, they've registered, they've paid, they've gotten onto the homepage and they've found their way to your course. And now they see you. That's your kind of setting for making this video. So that's why I'm recommending just those 3 topics. There are the written directions that you have here or that I just linked to. I also made a short little video, but I can't make the video all the way through the close of making a video. So the video will take you up to the point when you're going to push record, but then you'll need to push stop recording. It's pretty intuitive. And then next. So it tells you how to do that in the sheet towards the bottom, create and insert a video note. But here is the how to get there. In this quick video, I want to show you how to get from the Oakton homepage into the place where you can create a video note. I'm going to get stalled out when it's time to actually make the video because I'm using a video right now, but at least I can get you there and then you can take it from there using the printed directions. From the Oakton homepage, go to d2l.oakton.edu. Pick the course you want to add your video note to. And then under announcements, click new announcement. Couple of tips, be sure to give it a headline and then add some text at the start before you create your video. So here's the key. You're going to go up here to video. Wait, let me just press return. You're going to go to insert stuff right here. From insert stuff, you'll see add video note. And then you might have seen it real briefly. There was a little blue box that said new recording, but because I'm recording right now, it removed it. But you should still be able to have that new recording button. You're going to use that to make your video. Follow the written instructions that I sent you over email prior to this session, and good luck. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's a first attempt and you can play around with it for about 20 minutes and we'll see you back in the session soon. All right, I lied. We're only going to give you 10. That is how to do a video note.
We'll hang out here.
Yeah, so we're going to hang out here. You all don't close the Zoom meeting. Don't leave the Zoom meeting. Just open up a new window and go into your D2L shell because we want to bring you back at about 3:55. So come back about 3:55. In the meantime, Linnea and I will be here kind of together if you have questions, but go into D2L, into your course shell, make that new announcement and make the video note. All right, good luck. Oh, one almost, the penultimate message is this is a really handy book. If you decide you're gonna get into video, she has a lot of tips. She has videos to watch. So that's a nice handy resource. Karen Costa just came out in like around the last year or so. And now here is the final word.
You made it to the end. Hopefully we didn't scare you too much, but I just want to send you one last message. Don't strive for perfection. Don't leave an imperfect video sitting on your desktop and unsent to students. I sent you several videos that were far from perfect, but my message to you is get something out there. You will learn, you will get better, and you will make mistakes. But the key thing is to keep going. Take care, have a great semester, and thanks for being with us today.
All right, and that concludes this video program. So we can stick around if you have questions, but thank you to each of you for being here. Thanks to Linnea for presenting me and joining me on this wild ride. And we're grateful to have you with us. Have fun with it. Really, it's fun. So get over that hurdle and show your face and have fun. Your students will love it. All right.